On this episode of The Sunday Chef, we turn our taste buds south to a Tex Mex burrito I found in Richmond, Virginia, of all places. A great family restaurant called Pepe's. I met the owner, Pablo, who told me he bought the restaurant from his father, who had come from El Salvador. The place transported you south of the border with its decor and ambience. My server, Sandor, was a great help in choosing authentic and unique dishes. Traditional chips and salsa with a delightful twist of an added white sauce was brought out quickly. I had heard of a famous Mar Burrito, so that was what I ordered. The food came out quickly, which I was grateful for because I had to push on in my travels for business. Wow, talk about an off-the-hook dish, unbelievable taste, and exploding my taste buds. This is not your ordinary burrito. With its homemade pico de gallos, shrimp, and smothered cheese sauce, makes this dish a dish to die for. So today, we are going to try to recreate this dish as a tribute to Pepe and Pablo and his family. So let's get started. So one of the things in my family that nobody likes to do is devein the shrimp. Now you can buy shrimp that's already deveined. You can see how it's already split. Now because these are going in the burrito, I'm going to remove the tails. I like to buy these. These are the minimums I buy, which are 16/20s, meaning 16 to 20 pieces of shrimp per pound. I like those. Those are my favorite. Now, I've got a little smaller one here. I think these are like 20 35s or something like that. They're a little smaller. They were fairly cheap today, like $7 a pound. But you can see there's a lot of work to do to them. They had the shells completely on, so you have to de-shell them, and the veins are inside, which is basically pretty gross. It's basically shrimp poop, so you got to remove it. If you don't remove it, you're just eating shrimp poop. So I'm going to put this into fast motion and get through this really fast for you guys, okay?
Rejection's like an ice cold bath, but the water's feeling good this time, and I hate that I misread you.
Okay, so for spice today, I'm gonna go ahead and use a mixture of Cajun spice and fajita spice, because this is a Tex-Mex dish. You know, the Mar Burrito is kind of something that you would find down in New Mexico or something like that, but you know, I found it in Virginia, you know, and so there are Tex-Mex restaurants around that. So I kind of want to have a little fajita on my shrimp. So I just lay them out on the thing, and I spice them up, and then I put them back in their bowl. I'm going to let them set for 30 minutes to kind of absorb that flavor into the flesh of the shrimp. And kind of layer the flavors of our burrito, okay? So let's go on to the next thing, okay? All right, today we made 3 pico de gallos. I don't know if you know what pico de gallo means. It means peck of the rooster. And so it's gonna be a little bit spicy. So our first one here is our mango pico de gallo, in which we made, we used a large mango, half a white onion, a Manzano chili, which absolutely looked fantastic. And then we used a 1/3 cup of rice vinegar and a 1/4 cup of some kind of a sweetener that's low calorie. I like this Nectivia. This is my go-to because I'm a diabetic, but there's also this agave in the raw, which was really beautiful also. My wife got that one. Now the second one here is gonna be our jalapeno pico de gallo. And I used 2 jalapenos, a large Spacelia chili, a red onion for color. I could have used a white, but I really wanted that contrasting color in there. Again, rice wine vinegar and Nectivia. All of these have chopped cilantro in them too. So on the last one here, I made was a tomatillo pico de gallo. I used some large tomatillos, and I used these small little or bolo chili. And then I used green onions on this one. Again, I used the rice vinegar and also one of the sweeteners. And also I finished everything off with cilantro. So the cilantro is probably the vinegar and the sweetener is the only common things. But you want at least to set and soak in the actual vinegar. Even overnight is really good. At least an hour before you serve them, so that they kind of meld together in their flavors. So remember, pico de gallo means peck of the rooster. So anytime you see a salsa that says pico de gallo, it doesn't have to just be tomatoes and onions and other things. You can make it with many other different chilies and things like that. These just happen to be three of my favorites. This one is absolutely my all-time favorite. The mango one. Now, people say, oh, it's mango. If you just, you're just using that much of it, it's only going to be about 5 calories. So it's not going to add that much to your bottom line. And the amount of flavor you get in that is fantastic. So we're going to add that to when we make the burritos, depends on what you like. You can add any one of these to your top of your burrito. Anyway, let's get moving on. Okay, for our black bean portion of it, we're going to make our black beans from scratch. You can also use canned black beans, but I always like to make things from scratch. So 1 portion of beans, 2 portions of water. Now, whether that's 1 cup or whatever, I don't really know. It's what you decide, okay? On our pressure cooker, we hit the beans and lentil portion. Okay, I'm going to increase the time to 30 minutes. And it's amazingly, I can go from dry beans to finished beans in less than 30 minutes because I'm using a pressure cooker. Put my lid on. And I'm not very good at this. There we go. It's locked and loaded. I got my little thing up here set to close. And 30 minutes later, we're going to have black beans. So on the inside of our burritos, besides the black beans, we're going to have our rice quinoa. So I like the brown rice and the red quinoa because it gives a contrasting color and they taste really good. I usually cook these together in my rice cooker and I put it onto the brown rice setting. I won't open it up because it's in the middle of cooking, but usually I'll put 1 cup of each and then equal amounts of water. So I'll probably put 3 cups of water or 4 cups of water in there to get a total of about 5 cups of finished product. So I'll show you this when this is done, okay? Okay, well I've made, I had this when I was in Virginia. It was really off the hook. They brought it out with the chips. They brought it out with the pico de gallo and chips. So usually when you go to a Mexican restaurant, you'll have chips and salsa, right? Well, they brought out this white sauce that was just off the hook. You can see it in the picture. So I asked him what it was. So he said it was a kind of a creme fraiche or sour cream, Mexican sour cream or something like that. So I got some of this from my local market out here, my local Hispanic market, which we love. It's right down the street from us. Used to be called El Tigre. Now it's called Northgate Market. So if you have a Northgate Market around you, you can find some great stuff. So I did, a 1/2 cup of my creme fraiche. I did a tablespoon of cilantro, a tablespoon of white onion, and then I did a 1/2 teaspoon of agave to kind of sweeten it up. Now this again is the lower glycemic index agave in the raw. And I just mixed it up in one of my serving bowls and everything like that. You can add it to your burrito, as a topping. You can dip your chip in it if you want to. If you eat chips or pita chips, or even you can go as far as to do if you're on kind of a challenge or something like that. You might use cabbage as your chips or something like that. So this is a great thing to add to your Del Mar burrito. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so we're back over here at our pressure cooker. It got down to 30 minutes. I tested them, they were still a little hard, so I put it on for another 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and pop it. I've released the pressure off, so there's no pressure left in my pressure cooker.
One thing you gotta note is there's huge amounts of water that catch in the lid, so I usually put something like that to catch it. Now look at those. You know, from hard bean to actual finished soft bean. Look at how nice and soft those are. Just delicious black beans. So this is great for like putting it in your food storage or something like that to cook. I have these in my food storage. I got a big barrel of black beans and I use these. So you don't really need to go to canned beans. I don't like using canned beans if I don't have to, but these are easy to make. And they're gonna go great in our burrito. So let's go over to the rice quinoa, see how that turned out. Okay, so this has been on warming for a while, so I open it up and you see it's all steamy. Quinoa kind of like leaves these little curlies all over the place. They're kind of a mess, but if I fluff the rice quinoa, you can see it's nice and fluffy, mixed together really nicely. I like the contrast of the red quinoa to the brown rice. Very nice, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and cook our shrimp now, and we're gonna start building our burritos, okay? So I'm gonna add some fresh bell peppers to my burritos inside the contents of the burritos. So I picked 3 colors because I want the real variety of color. I like the sweeter peppers, the yellows, the reds, and the orange versus the greens. The greens are a little bit more bitter to me, but you know, to each his own. So when I cut up a bell pepper, what I'll end up doing is I'll slice off the top, the front, or I should say the top and the bottom. Then I slice it down the top, and then I just remove out the innard pieces like this, and then flatten it out. All right, and then I'm gonna cut this up into diced pieces. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this into fast motion video and get this done for us. And then we're gonna have 3 different colors of bell peppers. It's really gonna look very colorful inside of our burrito, okay? Okay, so we're gonna add a little bell pepper into our burritos as we build them. So we're getting ready to cook the shrimp. The brown rice and quinoa is done, and so are the black beans. So we're gonna go ahead and start building the burritos here in a few minutes. Let's go over and start making our cheese sauce on these, okay? Okay, well, I was rummaging through the fridge and I found these corn that I cooked on Thursday on the grill, and you can see the nice char marks on them and stuff like that. So I'm gonna cut these up. I'm gonna take them off the cob, and we're gonna add these to our burrito. Anything you find in the fridge that you wanna get rid of, you can always do this process of adding it to your thing, okay? So I'm gonna do this and put it in the bowl, and I'll have it ready to go for our burritos, okay? Okay, so for our cheese sauce that we're gonna put over our burrito, our Del Mar burrito, I went out and I found 3 kind of cheese sauces. So this one was just cream cheese mixed with a little mango salsa that my son made this week that was really tasty, but it is cheese, real cheese. So cream cheese and just a little mango salsa. So I also found this at the, the Hollywood Farmer's Market last week. It's a sriracha cheddar from a company called, I don't even know if I can pronounce it, Blood, K-U-H, cultured cashew bread, or spread, okay, cashew spread. So this is a vegan cheese that is, I'm really excited to put this on there. It tastes really good. Now, if you want to, you can just use a hummus and heat it up, and then you can thin these out with, I got this soy milk creamer. So these two with this would be a vegan choice. If you want to make a vegan burrito, you can leave the shrimp out and just make a vegan burrito. But I'm going to go ahead and heat them up, and I'm going to kind of thin them out enough to where we can pour it over our burrito at the end. Okay? I'm going to put it in fast motion so you can watch this.
Cause I want you to hold
Okay, so I'd say the hummus one actually turned out the best. You can see how nice and creamy that is. I was amazed at that, and it was probably the lowest cost. The cream cheese one, obviously, it's cheese, and so it melts. So it's nice and creamy. The cashew one turned out pretty good. It's a little thicker than I would have liked. I added the most amount of cream to that, but you can see how nice and creamy that is. It's got a nice consistency. It started to curdle a little bit, you know, which is kind of surprising to me. But it is a cultured cashew kind of cheese substitute product. But all three of them turned out, I think, great, and they'll do great for our burritos, okay? We're gonna move on to cooking the shrimp now. All right, well, I've turned the hood off so I can speak and you can hear me. So if it starts to get a little smoky in here, just know that that's why. I sprayed my pan here. There's one that you just can't do without if you're gonna do indoor grilling at all. This one's fantastic. It's a cast iron pan that I love. This cast iron pan, I've added, so this one you saw me add the olive oil cooking spray. This one over here, I found this unbelievable olive oil. This is a blood orange olive oil that I'm infused with in your olive oil. It's at Smoke Point. These guys are in Costa Mesa. They actually have their farms in Northern California. I'll put their information on. I found these guys, Joshua and Nathan Mardigan, if you can believe that, Mad Mardigan. They're in Costa Mesa off of Newport Boulevard. But I'll put their information in the credits and everything like that. So I'm gonna cook my larger shrimp here, and I'm gonna cook my smaller shrimp in here. So I gotta turn this one down because it's already hot. You want your pan to be at smoke point, but you don't want to be too hot. When it gets to smoke point, that means the pan is about 325 degrees. So right there, you don't want to take it too far over smoke point because you'll burn up the olive oil. Okay, so we're gonna put this in fast motion. I'm gonna cook the shrimp up, and then we're gonna start building our burritos. Okay, let's put it in fast motion. Okay, so my shrimp here on this grill are done. They've got the nice grill marks on them. They're gonna be great in my burritos. Okay, I think I'm gonna put these on the outside of my burrito, kind of like as a finishing touch. So just make sure that when you clean your pan here, you re-oil it because it will kind of rust. Okay, so I've got this chimichurri sauce I've got, and I'm gonna put these on this. This is a vinegar, olive oil, what is it? Chimichurri sauce, so cilantro and garlic, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and deglaze my pan with this wonderful sauce just to give the well, as Emeril Lagasse would say, kick it up another notch, right? So this is gonna take the beautiful shrimp kind of drippings, and it's gonna actually reconstitute and kind of make a little sauce for them. So they're gonna be very tasty when you bite into them inside the burrito. So this is going inside of our burrito. See how that cooks up really nicely, and you've got your shrimp all garlicky and cilantro and you know, the olive oil flavor and a little bit of vinegar to it. Oh, I can already taste it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cut out here, and we're gonna get to our building station where we're gonna build these burritos up, okay? All right, well, we're ready to build our burritos. I went down to the health food market because I didn't want to make my own burritos today, and so I found several different kind. These were really great. They're only 60 calories per wrap or burrito or whatever you want to call it. I got the regular ones for my sons who are not trying to eat as healthy as I am, but these ones, garden veggie ones, low carb, 60 calorie wraps. These are awesome burritos. Okay, so I've got my tortilla press hot. It's ready to go. So I'm just gonna put it in here for a few seconds just to heat it up and kind of make it so it's not so doughy and stuff like that. I'm gonna only let it in there for a couple of seconds because I don't want it to explode on me. Okay, so my burrito's my burrito's hot, and so I'm gonna come over here on this side and follow me, and we're gonna go ahead and put our filling in. So I've got my beautiful brown rice quinoa. I'm gonna put in my burrito here, just a little bit. I don't want too many carbs. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a little black bean to my burrito. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add my shrimp. Now I'm gonna put this shrimp on the inside of my burrito, so I'm gonna add, you know, maybe 3 pieces of shrimp inside. Okay, and now I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it, these are not really the biggest burrito wraps, so you're gonna have to make smaller burritos, which is fine. I turn it over to kind of hold the contents in. Now I'm gonna go back over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and add my sauce to it. So since I'm trying to eat healthy, I'm gonna go with this vegan cheese on mine. So I've got my little ladler here, and I'm gonna just pour it over the burrito. Oh, look at that nice cream sauce. Wow, look at that, really good. I'm gonna add another scoop for mine and kind of fill out my plate. Okay, I'm not gonna eat it all, but I just want it to kind of try to mimic the one that we had when we were on vacation. So they also had avocado, so I just put my avocado on my plate. And then I'm gonna come over to this side. I'm gonna add a few of these large pieces of shrimp to mine, like that, 3 pieces there. I'm gonna sprinkle a little onion on it, a little cilantro, a little corn, some nice bell peppers, okay? And then I've got my different salsas, okay? Wow, look at that. That's my version of a Del Mar burrito. I can't wait to taste it. All right, well, we're gonna sign off now and we're gonna all pig out over here, okay? This is Benjammmin, the Sunday Chef, hoping you find a little Sunday Chef in you. Well, the Del Mar burrito. I hope you make it and let me know in the comments if you like it. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate you guys watching our channel. We're gonna go eat now, okay? That's all, folks.